And so this is one of our first strategies. It's like when things get a little bit uptight to a heightened level of anxiety, as much as you want to stay in the fight, give it a pause. But
hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
we deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, babe, we are back and getting deep into a great topic, which is awesome. Before we go there, though, I wanted to know, do you know what you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
No.
Sophish-ticated.
I think we should have a poll.
We're going to have a poll.
And see how many people think Greg's jokes are hilarious.
I think you're going to be surprised by the answer, honey.
I betcha I will, and so will you.
I don't think I will.
I think you might be.
I'll be pleasantly surprised, probably.
Right,
It's
yeah.
probably more than I even realized.
I would be too.
It's probably overwhelming, actually.
Yeah, I will be too. It'd be a shocker to me.
Okay, so let's keep talking. Let's talk about some applicable strategies for connection. So first, it starts with philosophy that, you know what, we need to have a covenant around this, meaning that this is what we are going to commit to. You know, like we are committed to our relationship is either one way or the other. It's either distance or it's connection, right? And it's such an interesting thing because I was talking to actually one of our coaching clients about this the other day, and in particular, they've just been through some stuff, you know, and so after going through some hurts between them over their, you know, however many years of marriage, that they both are in a position where it's like they both want a happy, connected marriage, but at the same time, they're terrified of being close because they don't want to get hurt again. Right. And so I was kind of challenging one of them, and I was just like, okay, so explain this to me. You know, your desire for connection. What does connection even look like? And they're like, well, I want to be happy. I want us to be, you know, flirty, and I want us to be, you know, lovey in public, and I want to be able to have good conversations and all these different things that are all about connection. And I said, okay, so when things start getting better, okay, and you guys start getting a little more connected, I said, at what point do the alarms go off inside? And she was like, what do you mean? I said, at what point do you start getting scared? Do you start getting scared that I'm getting close enough now that now, because I'm close enough, you could hurt me, right? And she's like, well, yeah, it happens all the time. And then I said, let me guess. At that point, probably what you do is you probably go, throw a grenade in the middle of the relationship, get an argument about something, say something harsh or mean, and all of a sudden, it instantly creates a level of distance that now feels safe. So here you are in this loop of, I have a desire to constantly be closer, but anytime I actually get closer, I'm terrified. So then I intentionally create distance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they can't see, this is what I was talking about. Like you can't have these shades of connection in between, either connected or disconnected. And you have to be, I guess the key phrase is, it's impossible to ever get to connection if you have any goal of distance. Right? But this is like, it sounds simple, but I don't think we all realize how much we can do this stuff.
Well, I think one of the key points too is realizing with connection will come hurt. You're going to be hurt. Like if you think if we're connected, that means I'm never hurt, or, you know, I'm never going to be mad, or I'm never, whatever word you want to use, that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
And, you know, nobody tries to hurt each other. When you love somebody, you don't try. I don't set out to say, I'm going to hurt my husband today. I think I'm going to do this to him, and that's just the way it's going to be. You know, I think events happen, things happen, and then all of a sudden you're kind of confronted with it. Of course you're apologetic. You never meant to hurt your person. You know what I'm saying? But that person takes it personally, like, well, you must not want to connect with me because you hurt me on purpose. And I don't think anybody is in a loving relationship is like, I am purposely going to hurt my person today. That is my goal in life, to hurt that person.
Yeah.
And I think you have to realize that. And that's all where the grace comes in for each other. That's where we all have to say, I'm going to forgive you, even though I don't want to, even though you hurt me, even though it'd be easier not to, even though it'd be nice to put my walls up and never get close to you again and never, like you said, connect like they do. Like it would be easier. But is that what you really want? I mean, is that what kind of relationship you want in your life?
Yeah, it's easier short term. Mm-hmm. It's not easier long term, because then you walk around disconnected and
hurting
and unhappy,
right.
Ultimately, right?
Right.
And then the funny thing is when this kind of stuff's going on, then people can tend to go to, well, maybe I'm just with the wrong person.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be this hard.
And Satan works on you for sure.
And it's like the reality is staying connected is hard. Like it takes work,
Yes.
but choose your hard. Being alone is hard, right? Missing out on some of the most special things in life is hard, right? So choose your hard, and again, it's this mentality that gets put into us from everything around us in the world today that if things aren't easy, just quit. If things aren't easy, maybe they're not right. And, always seek comfort or easiness.
Right, which is so important what you just said, because you're right. Satan will play those kind of games on you, right? I mean, like you get in a fight and all of a sudden everything in your marriage isn't good. Everything about your spouse is like ridiculously horrible. Everything, you know what I mean? You go to this extreme, right? Even people that aren't like like that go to that extreme because Satan can work on you, right? And that's why I just say it is so important to have only a couple of people that you can trust truly with what's going on that is for both you and your spouse. They are not on either one of your teams. They're actually for your marriage. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the most powerful things you can have. All of us can have friends as a husband and wife, like some guy friends, some girl friends, which is perfect. Like everyone needs to have different connection groups. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be some people in your life, and it only is a couple that you would trust with this kind of stuff. You're not trusting the whole world, that you come to them and you say, whatever, hey, Greg is doing this and our marriage is hurting. Like, and this is where I'm frustrated. I'm not even saying I'm completely right, but this is where we are, and it's ugly right now. And I'm having these thoughts that maybe we're not meant to be together, and I'm sure he is too, right? And for somebody to be like, wait, I'm for both of you guys. Mm-hmm. Let's come back and remember some things. Let's go back to the word. Let's go back to how we can reconnect. Let's go, what I'm trying to say? Because if you don't have that, naturally you could go to friends, acquaintances and be like, you're not going to believe what my wife did or what my husband did. Mm-hmm. And you go, oh yeah, my girlfriend did that too. They got a divorce. It's the best thing that ever happened to her. Yeah. You should, you know what I'm saying? You can get in this, so that is really key to remember who you have those trusted couple of people that are for you both to win together.
Yeah, it's even even along the lines with our kids too. I mean, I was talking to Chrissy yesterday a little bit, and I don't remember what we were specifically talking about, but something came up where she said, it's so interesting how there's so many things from people around me that some people just don't understand. Like when I say I have 5 other siblings, most other kids my age will be like, what? Do you like that? And she's like, yeah, I love it. It's the best thing. And they're usually like, geez, I can't hardly handle one. I can't do this. And she just is like sitting there and is like, man, okay, but we love it.
Yeah.
Right? But you see, we've taught our kids that this is home base, and we've taught them relationship strategies, and we've taught them how to create connection versus just randomly hoping it might work out somehow. Right? We've taught them you don't do things that create distance.
Right.
You never say something like that about your siblings even. We work things out. If we are disconnected, we're gonna get back connected, But it's like it's a philosophy thing. But to your point, imagine if our girls, if our kids, they only heard those kind of comments nonstop and we didn't combat that, they would probably start making the same ones. So the people around you really is very important. I'm just trying to, solidify what you're saying. So
that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's talk about a couple of things for those out there that want to know some applicable strategies, right? What do you do when you get into some kind of a conversation that then gets escalated because there is some kind of disagreement, right? Could be for whatever reason. When that starts happening, and if you remember, one of our friends who's actually a world-class marriage coach actually taught us that he said that there's a part of your brain that it's actually proven through studies that when you're anxiety reaches a certain level. I think they measured it by heart rate, right? When it gets to a certain level, then the part of your brain in the middle, I can't remember what he called it, the umdula mangata. Okay.
I think you made that
up. It's a Waterboy reference. Mama said. You don't remember that movie?
No.
Anyways, he said that the part of your brain up here that connects your left brain with your right brain, okay, it actually shuts down. And so most of us tend to be more of one side than the other. I'm very logic brained versus emotion brained. And so when this middle part shuts down, I can't even understand an emotional argument, right? Like I like literally physically can't, And so, and if yours turns off because of the elevated, anxiety, now you're all emotional versus logical. And this is like between you and me is what happens. We get in this little squabble. We start trying to give our own point. It gets to a point where it starts getting elevated. Now I go all in on logic, right? That's what you usually call it my lawyer mode, right? But it's basically logic mode. You go all in on emotion. I don't know why you don't understand this way. Why aren't you paying attention to what I feel? And next thing you know, we can't even have a conversation.
Right, that's true.
And one of the things that our friend taught us was like, those are the times that you got to take a break.
Right.
You got to take a break. Maybe you got to go sleep it off. Maybe you got to wait till tomorrow when your brain starts functioning the way it's supposed to again because anxiety drops. Remember that being a really big thing for us because we used to sit there and try to like have this mindset that we have to fix this tonight.
Right.
And so then we would make it way worse trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And then finally we get to like a breaking point where it's like, fine, I'm done with this, and we'd separate anyways. And then we'd, do whatever for a day or two and then finally come around. And it was just really unhealthy.
Yeah, it really was.
And so this is one of our first strategies is like when things get a little bit uptight to a heightened level of anxiety, as much as you want to stay in the fight, give it a pause. But like strategy number 2 is.
But with that real quick, just to add to it, is typically there's one person willing to take a pause when the other one's not. Typically, like you're not both like, yep, time to pause, see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's typically like one person finally.
We're getting pretty good at it now.
Yeah. Usually one person will typically come to the point where like, this is getting worse and worse and worse. Like, I think we need to stop. So, one person has to say, I love you. I'm going to go to bed. Like enough is enough. Like I'm done. The thing that you have to be careful of is not to be baited in by it. Because the other person might be like, oh, so you're going to bed? Does that mean you're giving up? Like, you don't care? I care so much, actually. I'm willing to say, I want to stop. Like, I don't want to say one more thing that could harm this any worse than it already is, And so to realize if you're that one that has to do that sometimes, or maybe in the beginning quite a bit, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you like not a person standing up for yourself or whatever the case may be. It means that you're just really adhering to the rules that you originally started off with to say, I don't want to do this tonight anymore. I love you too much to say one more thing that could harm this situation.
That's right. You're filtering it through your covenant.
And if the other person isn't quite there yet, don't worry about it. They'll get there. Yeah. I'm saying it's a process, and one person might be better in another area that somebody's not. So it's like, just be okay with it. And then, later on, which we'll get to the strategies, bring that up if you need to. Hey, I really don't appreciate, I always have to do this. Could you please step up this area too? It does not make me feel good to have to take this on every time,
Right.
And discuss it. And we'll get to that when you do that kind of stuff. Yep. But to be okay with the fact that sometimes one person's a little more sound at the time, and to do that, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And a part of this is kind of retooling what success looks like. The reality is we all have a desire to win at things. And so we might think winning means I outlasted you in the argument.
Right.
And then you stomped off and I won. Maybe you don't say it out loud, but maybe in your mind you feel that, right? It isn't a win.
No.
Actually,
disconnect. You
have to retool winning. Like winning is who's the mature person who's actually really safeguarding our covenant.
Right.
Especially in the heat of the moment. I mean, you won the other day for sure because like we were starting to get a little escalated. You did. I see it as a victory for you and for us. But I'm just saying, I was, when I look back on it, I was proud of you because you're just like we were starting to get a little escalated. We were still calm, but you could see it was starting to. It was going to go that direction, and we're both kind of starting to dig our toes in the sand a little deeper.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I think I need to go to bed. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Probably a smart thing.
And then afterwards, like, it was the smartest thing.
Yeah.
But that's a victory for us because you protected our covenant, you protected our connection. And so, anyway, so that's one thing. And then, then the next, I think, strategy that's helped us a lot is now when you learn how to walk away when you shouldn't be arguing because your brain is turning off from working right, make sure you are open to talking about it, though, within 24 hours.
Yeah.
In other words, don't do the I'm going to avoid you and just kind of walk around you for 4 days.
Right.
And wait until you say something, like that I want to hear before we can be friends again.
Right.
Instead it's like, no, okay. You talk in the morning or the afternoon, just say,
yeah, even like 48 hours max. Like if you got something going on that day,
I agree.
Regardless, you have to make time for each
But
other.
there has to be a limit.
There does.
Because otherwise you're going to keep procrastinating it because
you're
avoiding it.
And you have to respect that because even if you have a lot going on, maybe if one person, and this is our situation sometimes, maybe we got an argument and the next day one of us is traveling. Okay. So it'd be really convenient to just ignore it till like, you might be gone 3 nights for all I know. Right. Yeah. Like, I don't know, but that's 3 nights of like complete disconnect, complete like, barely checking in with each other, which is disconnect. So it's like even a text being like, hey, I know we need to talk. I have meetings until blank time. Can we get on the phone tomorrow afternoon? I'd love to.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to take more than like even 10 minutes necessarily.
I'd like to reconnect, and can we both talk for a minute? That matters.
All right, let's continue in the next one.
All right.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.